So, my palette cam, hit me up in the chat if you can't hear me, by the way. Or if you can hear me, that's a pointless question. So I've got a palette cam, so you can see what I'm doing down here. I can see me painting testing the mixing the colours is what I was trying to get at. So it's very light, this sandy colour. What I'm going to actually, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an eraser to get rid of the horizontal lines. I'm not sure you can see them on the camera very well, but when I'm sketching, I create a grid on the canvas like a lot of artists do, just so I know my references are correct. I'm only going to get rid of them in the places where it's going to be very light. Dark paint will cover up these sketches quite nicely. This is palette cam. You'll see me mix the paint. So I'm going to mix the paint for the surrounding now. So it's quite a light yellowy colour. I'm definitely going to use some yellow ochre. Which appears to have seized shut since I last used it. There we go. So yellow ochre is already a very nice sandy colour. There's quite a lot actually, so I'm going to put a fair bit of paint down. Then I'm going to obviously use white to lighten everything up. A little bit of red in this sand actually. This was taken in Egypt, so Egypt's quite a red sandy country. So I might use a bit of vermilion. Oh, it's not opened. Only a tiny, tiny touch though. Vermilion can use a very sort of, use a tiny little bit, and a tiny little bit goes quite a long way. Yeah, that's way too much, I'm not going to use all that. And back here it's quite green. I'm going to grab a bit of hooker's green. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry, it's upside down. Hooker's green. I won't do the shadows yet, I'll do the shadows later on. Yeah, I think that'll work. Maybe I need a little bit of yellow as well. Lemon yellow. So, I think that's my palette for now. What I like to do is identify all the colours in there. There's definitely some oranges, some greens, browns. But the purpose of this isn't really necessarily get the colour exactly right. It's more about filling the paper up with a rough colour so we can then overtake it. So, I would say yellow ochre is going to be my main colour with a lot of white. There's some bits that are very, very, very white. So I'm going to start off with lighter. Well, to be fair, I tend to go darker and then work upwards. But for the purposes of, actually I'm going to go a little bit darker with yellow. So this is just to paint. I decided I wasn't necessarily going to paint the rock around here, but I might change my mind later on. Anyway, this is all about just filling the canvas up with paint. That was my reference image with the grid. If you're interested, I'm using Epidemic Sounds for the music. Let me go to my easel cam. The exercise here is just covering the background. It's not really anything more. I'm not going into any detail. Just getting the colour just about right. I will change colours as I go through. There's a big shadow under there, so I'll do the shadows in a sec. Okay. I'm going to mix it up with a bit of a different sort of colouring going on in different places. As I say, there's not much to this bit rather than just getting the colour on the background. Big shadow here. Let me know if the music's too loud. Bit of detail around the tail that I'll go and do later on. I don't really, at this point I don't really care, it's just super quick. Just get the colour in the background so you can merge the inverse foreground into the background and then you can sort the background out later. That's how I do it anyway. I don't know if there's any sort of legitimate way to go about it. I'll change colour a bit now.
Stay right here, or will you run away?
Quite like this tune. Never heard it before. If you're interested, it is What's on My Mind by John Runefelt, featuring Love Child. I did say there's a tiny bit of orange, so let's do that. Oh, this is the fun bit. This is where you start mixing stuff in. I could do this rock here. I'm not entirely sure I want to do the rock. Nope. As I say, all paintings look a little bit amateurish to begin with. Certainly my ones do anyway. I don't know what others do. A little bit of green up in the back here. Start blending it in, really, I guess. At least that's what I do. The palette, I just thought turn on palette cam just so you can see what I'm doing, what I'm mixing, how I can mix the green and the orange in, or the red. I haven't used the yellow yet actually. Where did I think the yellow was? Not a lot of yellow, to be honest. It's a lot darker up here, so that's where the green comes in. So, I don't know if you guys have been scuba diving. So, I don't know how to explain this. When you're scuba diving, everything looks a little bit flat. It looks a little bit colour-wise, just sort of dull, grey. It's because the light of the different spectrums are a bit caught up. Different colours from the lights. I don't know the exact colour. I think it's red that gets absorbed very easily by the sea. Now, the deeper you go, the less red you get. So everything starts looking a lot blue and green. Now, when you've got a decent camera with decent flashes, you get some really vivid colours that you wouldn't otherwise see in real life. So it's actually interesting once you sort of develop the photos or go back home and do all the photos, you'll be really interested. It's really interesting to see what the actual colours are, because you don't necessarily see that. Yeah, you can see it in the screen of the digital camera, but your eyes are still struggling to see properly, and you're also masked up, so it's not that easy to see. So actually exploring the dive again through the photos you've taken, I think it's absolutely beautiful. It really is. It really is beautiful. I'm just putting some texture on the background here. This is by no means ever going to be finished, the background. I'll come back and really finish the background, put a lot of detail in later on. Really, really quite dark around here. Probably come back and make this a lot darker later on. Also, the good thing with underwater photography, you don't really know what the colour's like, so you can't really go wrong when you edit the photos. You can try and use a white balance, but you're never going to be perfect with a white balance. Maybe one day I'll do a photography stream outdoors. think that requires quite a lot of logistics though. In the background, these are some of the black and white images of some paintings that I've done. And just in the top right, I put some images that I have painted, sort of photographs of some of the paintings I've done for people. Great thing with painting, right? Why I find it so therapeutic is, A, you can't really make a mistake because you just paint over it, and B, it's just beautiful. It's just relaxing. I mean, we've all had a stressful couple of years. It's a difficult time in the world at the moment. I picked up painting in sort of April time. The reason I took it up was to sort of de-stress myself. My grandmother had died, really sad to be honest. And she was the first painting that I really did. And it turns out I can paint. I knew I could paint from school, but I never really understood how I could paint. By the way, I've just added some yellow to this brush at the moment, so I'm going to brush it through, get a bit of texture in the background. Obviously I'll come through and add a lot more detail later on. But as I said, this is all about getting colour on the plate. It's all about getting some colour. Oh, that was a bit too much. But again, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. Because I can come through and just throw a bit of white on this, which I will do in a sec, actually, just show you the difference. For those kids there, that's a 90cm by 60cm painting. That took me about 12 hours in total from start to finish. Not like in one sitting, it took me many sittings, but I think the moral of the story when it comes to painting, just go for it. Seriously, just go for it. Can't ever. Everyone has the capability of being a good artist. I genuinely believe that. If you're interested, just do it. Just put way too much black on this. I was going to do the background, which is really quite dark. In fact, I'll just do it in this. That's not that bad. I'm not very good with colours when it comes to palette. I'm just whacking the colour down, as I keep saying, and I'll come back and do the detail probably another day. But this is just about getting colour on the grid and the background, and then I'll do the feature. I do plan at some point, possibly in video format rather than streaming format, for YouTube. Perhaps doing some mindfulness. Take your mind away from sort of the general day-to-day activities. It helps you relax massively. It's really helped me out in the past, just mindfulness, just I'm running out of paint on the brush here. Palette's getting a bit dry. Could use some water to bring it up. Oh, that's a nice bit of pop of orange there, which I didn't really anticipate, but I think it is quite nice. So I'll come up with a lot more detail later on and just sort of fix this rocky outcrop. It's not really about detail at this point, it's just getting paint on the paper. I do think paintings look a little bit rubbish until sort of got to the detail bit, and that's a good couple of hours maybe. So I'm going to record all these, and I am recording it now actually. I'm recording the palette cam now. So I'm recording this camera now, and what we're going to do is I'll time lapse it really quick so I can see, well you can see, and whoever can see really easily what we're actually doing here. Really blue bit here actually in the background. It's a good point actually, I haven't put much blue in it. Needs a lot of writing up this hole. I'm really running out of paint now, but I'm pretty much as far as I want to be from there. I'll do, I think. So it's never going to look beautiful at this point. And that shadow runs all the way underneath this. Do it very roughly now. Brush is way too big to do this. Fades out about here. It's a bit lighter. It really does come down like that. I'm very lazy when I paint, to be honest. Especially when I'm doing this bit. I really don't like starting paintings, to be honest. I just want to get the sort of background and the boring bit out of the way a lot quicker. That shadow is quite nice actually. Alright, that's green to be honest.
Don't be sad, don't be lonely. Don't you know that I love you only?
I'm just gonna go and get a drink. I'll be right back.
And I'll be yours forevermore. Don't shed a tear, don't hang your head and cry. So no, we can make it. Make it if we try. Just be mine.
I'm back. Got a new palette. Got my water bottle. New water. So, let's talk about the colouring. So, if I put the reference image on, actually, let's put the full reference image on, which is 8. So, let's talk about the colour. What we need to talk about is really, sorry, I'm just adjusting my OBS. As I say, I'm brand new to this, so I need to make sure that everything's working okay. It's quite a nice earthy green. There's obviously some blue tones in that green. But out of the box, I just want to sort of do a light yellowy earthy green, I think. I think what we're going to look at is so what I'm going to look at is probably, obviously, this hooker's green again, which I used in the background. Yellow ochre. It's actually quite a similar colour to the background. It's just a different tone. Sorry, that's not. I don't need flesh. Yellow ochre. Again, this isn't really about changing colour throughout. This is more about getting the colour down. However, there is a lot of nice tones here. So towards this area is going to be a sort of more yellowy, and then down here as well. But around here, sort of the mid area, we're going to be talking about a slightly more darker, earthy green. So yeah. And obviously at the edges we've got some very dark greens. So around here, up here, and down here, really, really quite dark green. Yeah, I'll use a yellow ochre and hooker's green as the predominant colours. I might grab some I don't know whether I need sienna, to be honest. Golden yellow deep might be one. So there's a little bit more detail on this, so I use a slightly smaller brush. I do have loads of brushes when it comes to detail. So I use a brush like this for just filling in colours, or if I want a rougher approach, I just use one of these. A lot of people throw their brushes away when they get to, actually this is it's still in quite a good state. I tend not to, because you can always like scatter it to create some texture. So like sand texture is great with older brushes. I think I'm probably going to use that. If I really want to go fine detail, I do have fine detail brushes, obviously, which I can't see. So this is quite a fine one. Not the best one though. I've got some new ones. Where are they? This one. This one's a good little brush. So, I'm hesitating because I don't know what hooker's green actually looks like. I don't want it to look like the background. It is green in the background, that's fine. So it's going to be more green with a bit of yellow ochre. The very light bit, so I'm just going to use this, not open yet, but this golden yellow. Oh, that is very, it's not what I was expecting. Maybe I want a more of a cadmium yellow. Yeah, that's actually a lot nicer. Tell the difference on this camera. Let me have a quick look at the screen. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but they are quite different. Yeah, I think you can actually. This isn't very focused, is it? This maybe I'll play with that later. So let's do some mixing then. So it's obviously a lot of green in the background, so I'll grab the green, mix it in the middle. I tend to mix in the middle of the palette because my palettes get very messy very quickly. It needs a lot more yellow ochre than this. I'm probably going to need a bit of white actually as well. Wow, that green is strong. Whack that in the middle, and I'll whack some white on as well. We can always use that if we need to. I use so much white when I paint. I'm sure everyone does, to be honest. Okay, now the ochre's taken over, so I need to add the green. Mix it roughly. I don't actually like mixing it consistently, because when you put it on the palette and the paint, it's weightless. So when you put it on the actual painting, it's yellow. Mixing it, having sort of streaks of different colours in the painting, I think is really quite nice. How does that look? I think it needs more yellow ochre. Sorry, I got a message. It's actually a really quite a nice colour, this. So, I'm going to start painting over here. So I think I'll continue this stream until I've got the basic block colour down, and then I'll carry on tomorrow. I'll stream on both YouTube and Twitch tomorrow. Oh, I've forgotten to switch to the other camera. It's a really nice highlight between the this green grey colour and the shadow down here. It's really, really striking, and I'm quite excited to put that in, to be honest. But yeah, I'm still very early on my stream, so this is all testing out. I'm not really marketing myself yet. It's a lot more detailed than I thought it was around here. What's going on around here? Oh, that's really dark. I'll leave all this a little bit until later on, but that's really dark up around there. There's a nice sort of dark bit around there, and obviously shadow around the corners. I'll deal with all that a bit later. Sorry. It doesn't exist. I don't know why I painted that. There is one sort of there-ish. By the way, I have discovered if you use warm water, it works better than cold water. Just in general, it cleans the brushes better, obviously, because that just makes sense. Actually, going onto the canvas, it seems to work a lot better. There's actually a slightly lighter bit. This is actually the first time I painted this new studio. I used to paint in my shed, but I thought, you know what? I used to rent this out to a lodger, this room. I thought, you know what? Having multiple lodgers is stressful. I only have one lodger now, who's really, really good guy. And yeah, turned it into a studio. Hopefully, it'll make up for the, if I manage to sell some commissions and stuff, it'll make up for the loss of income. But to be honest, having lodgers, multiple lodgers is stressful. I can cope with one, and I really enjoy living with one, but having multiple ones is, I find, very difficult. So I'm looking forward to continuing the stream. Streaming career is set and ready to go. As I said, this weekend is all about practicing, and then hopefully I'll launch it next week properly. I'll get on YouTube. I'm going to do a stream, multi-stream to Twitch and YouTube tomorrow. I didn't realise I had to get permission from YouTube to stream. I applied for permission. It says it'll take you like 24 hours sort of thing. I think it's so they don't let you stream straight away as soon as you create an account. Or spammage. I also feel like YouTube's got a more of an art audience, whereas Twitch is more gaming and stuff. I think YouTube has a slightly older demographic. And I'm not talking massively old, I'm not talking like old people. But I would love to see people get inspired by my art and start creating their own. It's so therapeutic. I don't like using the ASMR phrase, but when you do something amazing in art, you think, I did that. That sends tingles down your spine. Put the reference image up again so you guys can see what I am looking at. Chat's very quiet today. Is there a setting I missed out and didn't put the chat on or something? I don't really know what I'm doing with Twitch. Or YouTube. Or OBS. Or general computing. Or you could argue art as well. This is an interesting song.
When I turn up, you get going. At every stop, baby, oh, it's showing. If I should stay, you find a reason to leave. When I'm busy, that's the time you are free. Just tell me, what should I do? How can I get how can I get through? How can I get through? Tell me, baby.
Oh, printer warning. Don't know why. I've got wrong paper. I haven't sent anything to print.
With every step you take to, I keep reaching out to you. If I go left, then you turn to the right. I'm walking in darkness.
So I'm just making it a bit darker now. Oh, I haven't got palette colour.
Just why can't
That's 3.
chance? You keep
Making it a bit darker.
running away from me. You keep running away from me. Yeah, baby. Ooh, baby. Woo! How can I get through to you? I just want one chance. Tell me how. Tell me how. How can I get through to you?
So that's really, really, really yellow, that bit. In fact, that's really orange. I should have got some vermilion orange out. I'll probably sort that out later on. That is really orange. I didn't notice that. This music is quite cool. I'm enjoying it. This eye is actually quite... If you have a look at the eye, I can't really zoom in, but if you have a look at the eye, oh, notice that this scene has got a dodgy picture. Just fix that picture up. There you go. I've lost the colour a little bit here. It needs to be a lot more ochre-y. I'll come out of that. Yellow ochre is probably my most used colour. It needs to be a lot lighter as well. I use on people a lot as well. It's just one of those natural colours. It looks a little bit like kind of diarrhea you don't want to look at from a baby. I think it just occurs naturally everywhere. That was actually really dark. No, I should have done a very dark bit. Right, I'm going to grab another brush. So when you're going from light to dark to light to dark, I prefer to use two brushes. Brush is rather nice. Try a new brush, never used it before. Sorry, I'm getting pretty awesome messages. People saying the setup's really good, which is good news. Oops, I've just knocked the webcam out of the way. I think it's important, if people are going to learn from me, it's really important for people to be able to see the palette cam. And I've never really seen other streams with a palette cam before. So you can actually see what I'm doing mixing here. That's a really nice colour. I'm not sure how accurate it is to the actual thing, but I'm going to rub it on anyway. There's a sort of like ridge that comes down there. Is it there? No, it actually comes past there, it comes around here. So I'm going to have to differentiate that with different colour paints to add a bit of depth. So going back to scuba diving. So scuba diving is this sort of weird sensation. You're basically weightless. It's a little bit like you're in space. You can't see much. So I'll rephrase that. You can see quite a lot, but you're very restricted on what you can see. So obviously colours don't come through. Reds don't come through basically when you're quite deep. But it is one of the most relaxing kind of things you could do. And I genuinely believe that if it wasn't, it's not dangerous, but if it didn't have a perception of danger, it is possibly one of the most therapeutic things you could do. It really is a stunning activity to sort of tie your hands up. So if you ever get the chance, do it. And I'm not really just talking about getting your paddy, which a lot of people say, oh, I've got my paddy. Yeah, that's great. But don't go into scuba diving just to say you got your paddy. Go into scuba diving to really be at one with the world, really understand what the world is about. You're seeing it from a totally different perspective that you'll never see otherwise. You are essentially weightless, but it's so peaceful. All you can hear is the bubbles around you. Water does carry sound very well, but it can be quite noisy. It's kind of relaxing. It really is a very relaxing thing to do. So when I took this photo, this was actually a very shallow dive. I think this was probably about 5, 6, 7 meters below the surface. And it was really a... If I remember this dive, I might be wrong. I think it was, as I say, quite a shallow dive. It was early in the morning, so the light was really nice. It was after a very calm night, so the visibility, so there wasn't any sort of debris or sand or dust floating in the water. It was really, really quite a nice, refreshing time to dive, and it was just so peaceful. And I saw this ray and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna snap you. And I took a photo, and the photo came around really well. He allowed me to get really close to him, and he was just really tolerant. But I don't do scuba diving anymore. It's bad, really. But I just got a bit too heavy, I guess. Had one too many incidents of being a bit too close to the edge. To be honest, I was never in actual danger. It's just one of those things. And life got in the way. Yeah, maybe one day I'll go back to it. So, one of the things okay, it's not. So, like I said before, the purpose of today is to really get colour on the palette, and then I'll fix all the detail later on. So this is a very sort of rudimentary, very simple drawing, painting at the moment. There's not much talent behind it, I'd say, at the moment. Certainly not a lot of detail around. The whole point of painting is layers, so this is the first layer. It's like when you cook, you start off with onions, a bit of flavouring, a bit of garlic, and then you add flavour on top, then you add the meat, and then you finesse it with maybe some herbs at the end. A lot like, oh, it gets very dark at the tail. So this is an A2 size canvas, which is like about 60 centimeters that way, which I believe is 24 inches, 42 centimeters that way, which is 16 inches. Obviously, everything I do is in centimeters and millimeters. I have to think of what I really look like then. That bit's quite dark, so let's darken the paint a little bit here. I probably won't do the blue today. Oh, that's a bit too dark. do actually need to. Sorry, I do actually need to buy a new paint. My favourite colour in the world to do anything with is actually this Payne's Grey. So what that does is darkens everything, but not like a black, which turns it into a sort of, I don't know, dirty grey colour. Payne's Grey sort of keeps the colour of the original one. I don't know how it works, but it is really, it is my favourite colour. I need to buy more, so I would usually be doing this with Payne's Grey. But we can do it later on in Payne's Grey. The beauty of painting, you build up in layers. It doesn't really matter. I actually need a smaller paintbrush for this. Let me just grab one. This one. Alright, that's my string gun. If you see me chewing something, it's me chewing my tongue. I have a habit of chewing my tongue. Always have done. Since I was a very young lad. Just munching away on my tongue. And then making it very painful. I thought maybe I should put the tag of ASMR. People are very much into that these days. Might get more people on my stream. If somebody logs in now, they're just going to be looking, eh? This looks terrible. Takes a long time to paint, you know. Very amateurish. As I say, I just want to get all the green down. Am I going to do the blue? Okay. I mean, I do need to do it though. Probably do a much longer stream tomorrow. Don't know how it works. I will start scheduling stuff. I just want to get my bearings first when it comes to this. My plan is I'll do like a portraits. So I'll probably do 2 midweek streams. Maybe 3. One would be portraits. The other one would be some sort of animal, whether it's a pet or something. And then I'll go down to the. I'll go down and do some third one. I don't actually know what the third one would be. I'm potentially thinking something along the lines of some abstracty type thing. I say that, I'm really not very good at that sort of thing. So maybe we'll learn together. But I'll do a weekend stream when I can. I think my idea is hopefully you guys will help me out and give me sort of ideas of what to do. Because although I think I can paint quite well, I do struggle with inspiration. So as I say, tomorrow I'll be on YouTube and Twitch. I've got a Streamlabs subscription so I can do both at the same time. So as I grow, I'll be streaming on both. If one audience particularly wants me to do something, I'll do Twitch specific streams. My aim of this isn't really to like make money from streaming. I want to make money and I want to like get people to recognize my painting ability. As I say, it's not really about making money from streams. I really don't care about that, to be honest. So I'm just using this really quite dark green. To add the shadows. Obviously this is going to be a totally different colour once the shadows have been done. I won't do that. Will I do that? Oh, I might as well. That's pretty much black, to be honest. Very rarely do you actually paint black, but a situation like this I might do. There's a lot of highlights missing. So this is very flat. The whole idea of today is to get colour on the palette. Just colour, 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 colour. And then I build the painting out tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And what I'll do... Ooh, I got a follower. Thank you. Chameleonate, thank you very much. So, how long till I'm finished? In total, a painting like this will take maybe 6 to 8 hours of painting, although this one's not that difficult painting. If I go on to the reference image, is this going to work? There you go. So the idea is I'm not super realist, but I'll get fairly close to that. As I say, 6 to 8 hours. I won't do it all today, but over the course of the next couple of days, I'll see how I get on. But as I say, I'm not a super realist when I come to painting. If you want to look at my previous work, actually, if I go, there you go, top right. This is my previous work, so this is the sort of level of detail I go to in the top left. What do I do afterwards? I don't know. Not really thought that far. I'm very new to painting. Yeah, find out. I would like to make money out of painting. I haven't yet. We'll just see. That's my previous work in the top left. And quite cool music. The purpose of today is really just get the colours down and just the base for when we go. I'm going to finish fairly soon today's stream. As I say, this is all about a test to test my setup, make sure it's all working well, which it is, which is fantastic. I'm really happy. So yeah, we'll just go from there, sort of build a community around you guys, myself. I'll be really excited. I'll work out a way of creating a VOD. I don't actually know how it works. Create a video so I can upload like, first this. This is my first sort of painting type thing. And I'll upload in the stages. So my plan is, I've recorded this video so I can put it on like YouTube or something. But I'll then sort of, what's the word? Time lapse the whole process and put them on shorts on Instagram and YouTube shorts, etc. Just to get my sort of name out. This is the first time I've ever streamed in my life. It's the first time I've ever shown my face on camera. Quite a big step, really. Out of my comfort zone, because this is massively out of my comfort zone. But I do love painting and I want to share it with people. That's the best way of than just doing it live while I'm streaming. Step back and have a look at this. I mean, it looks alright. Actually looks quite good on the stream, doesn't it? I'm questioning myself whether I want to. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do some orange work. Why isn't that saying? The wrong colour. Sometimes you do that, you just mix it and it's just like, well, that's not the right colour at all. This is quite orangey, this area down here, so I'm just going through. Before I finish off, I'm going to turn this orangey. The great thing with art, by the way, it's it quite often looks rubbish. Maybe not rubbish is the right word. It quite often looks not very good close up. Certainly my paintings, I don't think look very good close up. But they do look remarkably good, sort of, not close up. This needs a proper orange. This is the wrong colour, but I'll just put the colour on for now, and then tomorrow or something I'll make it a bit more vibrant. This is a very vibrant orange, this bit actually. There's a massive highlight there that I'm not doing the highlights yet, I do the highlights last. So I work from dark to light. And it works really well with acrylics. I know a lot of other mediums, certainly watercolour, you have to work from light to dark. Otherwise, it completely messes up and you can't retrieve it. With acrylics, because you can paint over the light, I think it works really, really well. I'm going to clean that brush. I've made a right mess of this palette here. So I'm adding water to thin this out a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of go over here, sort of brush this sort of slightly orangey colour into the background. Now the way I'm doing that is the actual photo is quite orangey, which I think I've missed on the background colour. The nice thing is I can just sort of rub it in later on. Yeah, I definitely missed the orangey colour on this animal. It's inspirational music, isn't it? Let's actually change the music. Let's go with some... solo guitar. This eye is absolutely awesome. I can't wait to do that. Sorry, wrong one. Look at that eye. Look at how that eye is really popping. I'm really quite excited to do that eye. Oh. There obviously needs to be a lot of them. You know what? I think I'm finished for today. The reason I am is because I'm losing inspiration. It does look what it looks like. Let's have a quick look at the easel. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so obviously it's very flat, the colour, there's not much highlighting, there is a little bit of shading I've done, but already you can see what it is. I'm not going to do the blue right now because that's going to require dry paint. It's probably dry already, to be honest. But yeah, there we go. Sorry if you can hear that. Got a dry throat. I don't make these anymore. Most amazing bottle I've ever had. Well, they used to have a carbon filter in them. You've got filtered water. But I just don't make them anymore. Which is a shame. So, I think I'm going to end the stream tonight. That was my first test stream. Strength, thank you for being there. I really appreciate it. And yeah, as I say, tomorrow I'm going to be on YouTube and Twitch, hopefully. I'm going to start going from there. I'm really happy everything's working. I did a bit of a full start. Everything crashed on my computer. I think that's probably because I've learned a lesson that don't play with OBS before you stream. Close it down, restart the computer, and then it's got all the memory it needs. Perhaps the memory was crashing. I think all my USBs crashed for some reason. But no, I'm really happy. Everything's gone really well. The cameras are really good. I think it's really vivid. Perhaps this camera here, the one I'm on here, could be a little bit brighter, but I can play with that later on. So yeah, ping me an email if you are interested in knowing more or have any suggestions. But have a great evening. And see you tomorrow.